What's going on, everybody? Red Velvet is here. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've talked to y'all. Or I'm really just talking to myself and you're just listening. But we are here getting ready to go on vacation, and it's been that's how I feel. That is how I feel. So you're going to get a peek into the Velvet life. Last time we talked, since we've talked last time, I'm going to rephrase that. Graduation. Our oldest, I don't want my wife to get mad at me. Our oldest, he graduated high school. Big milestone. I hope he's ready for the real world. I don't know if he is or not, but you know what? That's kind of what parenthood is. You kind of just do your best, hope for the best, and be like, there you go. Now go find your way. I'll be here rooting you on. But that's how it is. He has enlisted into the Army National Guard and will be leaving in September. But we are packing up. We leave at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We are going to Gulf Shores, Alabama. I'm excited. Gulf Shores is probably one of my favorite places on earth. And it's what I like about Gulf Shores is it's getting bigger, but it's almost that small town feel, but it's a tourist destination. I get really bad anxiety when I'm driving, so I don't get anxiety down there yet. So it's still small. I hate big cities. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase it. Back up a bit. I hate driving in big cities because everything's going 100 miles an hour. My brain's going, what's going on, man? I don't like this at all. I don't like it at all. So that's where it's like, this isn't really for me. Not really for me. But, it is what it is. So we go down to Gulf Shores. My entire family's going. My parents, my brother, and his family. And we spend 10 days or something down there. We all have our own condos, thank God, because we would probably destroy each other. We all got to have our own space. I love my family, but we all got to have our own space, So, but we started off this morning. My son had a flat tire on his truck, and I'm like, God. Day before vacation, we're already in, I don't want to say panic mode, but we're already like going 100 miles an hour 100 different ways. Jasmine told me last night on the live stream, which you want to be on the live, you got to check out these NBA live streams I'm doing. They're fun. You get to hang out with me, so there's that. But she's like, hey, your son has a flat tire. I'm like, God. I go, does he have a spare tire? I don't know. Okay, cool. Well, I wake up. I'm like, I'm not changing the tire because it's supposed to rain, and I'm not getting wet. So I went and got an air compressor from my parents' house, which it's always when I go to my parents' house, it's a minimum 45 minutes to an hour before I leave. And that's a quick trip. That's me picking up something and getting out. So it's like, darn. So I just realized my screen's off center with my graphics. So I'll have to fix that later. But anyway, so I'm sitting there. Of course, if anybody knows my mother, you can't go there and not get something to eat. That's why I'm the way I am. But it's like, Mom, I just need to get this air compressor. No, you need to sit down and eat. So I ate a piece of toast and talked to her. And then I had to go down and talk to my dad. We were talking about things. He's like, how'd he get a flat tire? I don't know. He's driving over things. Just ran over something. So I went and got that. Drive home and realized I don't have any plugs in the front of my house, like on the outside. So I'm sitting here like, looking around, trying to find all that stuff. My wife's a little heated. She goes, why'd it take you an hour? Why did it take you an hour to get an air compressor? Well, we like to sit and talk, and that's what I didn't understand as a kid growing up, because when you went to my grandparents' house, no matter what you needed, you had to go in and talk. And then once again, it was an hour. So children, when you listen to this in the future, when I'm old, you're going to sit and you're going to talk for an hour about, I don't care what it is. We're going to talk for an hour about nonsense, and then you can go about your way. I don't care if you're in a hurry or not. But I go, honey, that's what we did. And I go, I didn't like it as a kid because I felt like I was an important person. I had places to be. I had stuff to do. And we had 4-H animals at that time. I only had 4-H animals in my lifetime as a short time. We had sheep. And I was always like, I don't want to talk to Grandma and Grandpa. Looking back, that's probably just not probably my best character, whatever, best quality at that time. I said, man, I just want to go home and watch TV. Nickelodeon was on. It was the 90s. It was pretty cool shows. So, but I had to feed the sheep. I think we fed the sheep twice a day, or seemed like twice a day. It took forever. But I would ride my bike, my Huffy, down the road, And like I'm scouting because I knew grandma was in the house working. Grandpa's outside, either on the farm or around the garage working. And I'm like peeking around, and they got this fuel tank. They had a fuel tank in their driveway. It was big, dude. It was a huge diesel fuel tank. So kind of crept by. I was like, all right, I don't see grandpa. I beeline it behind that gas tank. Dude, I'm hiding. I see grandpa get out of the garage and walk around the corner. I run back as fast as I can to get to the feed and start feeding the sheep. But then the hard part was the water. We had to water the sheep too, because, you know, animals need water. And the hard part was the water spigot's on the house. So I had to be a ninja, absolute ninja. And I'm like peeking. I got this 5-gallon bucket. I know my grandma had seen me the entire time. She's probably looking at the window like, what's this moron doing? We can see you every move you make. But played the game, I guess. Grandpa's walking around. So I'm like bobbing and weaving around, get filled up, water the sheep, and I'm on my huffy. I'm beelining it back. I got to get home and watch Global Guts or something. Who knows what I was watching? But I had my life rolling this morning when I was telling a story. I'm like, yeah, that's what we did. Like, I just want to watch my shows. You know, your grandparents always had to watch her shows, you know, what was it? Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful and whatever. They had to watch my shows. I had to watch my shows too. So, I don't know. Then today, I went to go get a coffee because I dropped the tire off and I about broke my neck getting my wife's car because somebody scooted the seat all the way up and I didn't know that. And I just kind of fall in the car because, you know, I'm a faller. Smacked my head off the door frame. Thought I broke my neck. And I'm like, son of a. And I start scooting it back. And I go, I need a coffee. And she goes, where do you want to go, honey? I said, well, we're going right. So we're going to go to Gotcha. So I go to Gotcha Coffee. And I love going there. I love coffee grounds as well. So shout out to Gotcha and Coffee Grounds. But today was a Gotcha day because I was going that way. And I go in there. And I'm ordering my drink. Of course, you know, I got a basic order, basic, you know, whatever. I'm not going to say I'm not trying to cuss now. That's my thing. I'm not trying to cuss anymore. At least on air. So I ordered my black coffee with cream. That's how I order it. They probably laugh every time. They're like, you can't have a black coffee with cream. Yes, I can. That's how I order it. So I'm sitting there waiting. And the barista, was talking to another customer and looks over at me and she goes, do you have a Titanic fetish? And I'm like, beg pardon? Beg pardon. I go, what do you mean a Titanic fetish? She's like, did you watch like Titanic a lot as a kid? And I go, that's a really random question. So, but let's go back. Titanic came out about 95. I said I was in first grade, which her jaw hit the floor. So you were in first grade? Like I was some ancient relic. I was like, I was in first grade. I said, it was a 2-part VHS tape. And I go, it's a long movie. She goes, did you enjoy watching? And I go, well, let me put it to you this way. I enjoyed watching the second tape at a certain section. Usually when Jack was drawing his character of his girlfriend. You know, if you've not seen that movie, you don't know what I'm talking about. If you have seen that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Kate Winslet bearing it all. I was very impressionable as a young child. So that was probably the most parts of the Titanic that I did watch. But yeah, I said I've seen it 4 or 5 times. I go, probably in my lifetime 4 or 5 times because it's a long movie. And it's a tragedy. I said, the first time when it came out in theaters, like, I'm not watching that. I'm a boy. I don't watch that movie. That's a girl movie. And I started watching it. Then I found tape 2. And then she goes, well, when was the last time you watched it? And I go, I don't know. I said, I probably cried the last time I watched it. And she was like, oh, okay. I'm walking out and there was another customer in there. And that lady goes, well, did you cry because it's a good love story? And I'm like, no, I cried because a bunch of people died. You know, it's tragedy. It ain't a love story. It's tragedy. And just so we're clear, Kate Winslet could have scooted over on that plank or whatever she was on. And Leo DiCaprio did not have to just go bye-bye. But whatever, what do I know? It is what it is. We move on. So I walked out and I was like laughing, and my wife goes, what's so funny? And I go, well, I just had an interesting conversation. I said, I got asked if I had a Titanic fetish, which I don't know if I give Titanic vibes. I don't know if that's a fat joke or what that is, but it is what it is. She goes, what? And I told her the story, and she was like, you said that? I go, yeah, tape 2. You got to see Kate Winslet's boobs. The other customer was laughing his butt off. And then when I walked out, the other customer couldn't believe I said that. I go, well, that's why I cried. I don't care that it was a love story. Jasmine goes, oh my goodness, why did you say that? You can't say that. I go, I didn't say anything wrong. I just spitting facts. But yeah. But then, I'm coming back. We're packing. And the thing with packing for vacation, my kids already took my suitcase, so I got to pack a duffel bag. I'm taking my wrestling gear bag. And why is it like when I'm sure I'm not the only one. If I'm not, please let me know so I don't feel like such a piece of crap. When I pack, I just grab, I've got like 32 shirts, 15 pairs of underwear, 2 sets of trunks, about 3 pairs of shorts, and then 2 pairs of socks. What? It's not adding up. Why do I have all these shirts and 2 pairs of socks? Like, I don't get that. Why does that happen? To be on me, I don't know. It's the way God made me, and it is what it is. But I was sitting there doing that. I'm like, why do I do this every time? I only wear like 3 shirts, but I wear like 15 pairs of underwear. So that math's mathing. Why do I have all these extra shirts? I don't get that. Anyway, I've got a list. I have a little list of talking points. And I don't know if anybody knows, but my wife's really into gardening now. Not that kind, not the Cheech and Chong kind, but she's approaching 40, and maybe it's because I'm not there yet. She's actually 3 years older than me. I'm a cougar hunter, for those who don't know, so now you know. But here, this early summer, she's gotten really into gardening. We got the wild farm. I don't know what you call fresh cut farm, flower farm. I don't know. That's something to that extent. She got into that last year, but now, like, she's either mowing the yard all the time, like, and it's like planting flowers everywhere. I said, who is this person? She's like, I really just care about the yard. I go, maybe that's a 40 and older thing, because I'm 36 and I can give 2 craps what my yard looks like. As long as it's mowed, that's all I need. And weed eated most of the time, but she's working like a Hebrew slave, and props to you, honey. I mean, I've helped you. And everybody's like, you're just a lazy bum, just sitting on the couch doing nothing. No, I go out and try to help her, and then she tells me to get out of her way, and my feelings are hurt, and I leave. I go back inside where it's safe. Well, that's why. But I'm just like, that must be an over 40 thing. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, I will leave you with this, my final thoughts. This is going to be a fun summer. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be a blast. And I'm going to come on here periodically and talk about the Velvet life. You're going to look into my life and see what happens. Dinerpod's rebranding, sports, food, fun. So I'm definitely on the fun side. I'm not too much on the sports because I'm fat, but food and fun, that's me all day, baby. But we're going to highlight the athletes. We're going to highlight everything. Kids are working hard. So thank you to that. I want to thank our subscribers. Our subscribers on Facebook. They're paying 99 cents a month to support the Dinerpod, and I greatly appreciate that. So if you'd like to do that, you can scan this QR code that's on here, and it'll take you to the link tree. I think that's the link tree, and it'll take you where you need to go. It's on our Facebook page. You just click that, hit subscribe, follow the details. So, yeah, if you want to support the Dinerpod for less than a cup of coffee, because I just paid for a big cup of coffee today, and it was more than 99 cents. I'll put money on that. You can do that. I want to thank our gold sponsors. We got Wabash Valley Plumbing, Peak Performance Gym, RJs Formalwear, Stitched Embroidery and Apparel. Thank you for everything you do for us. Without you guys, it's not possible. And also thank you to the fans. Thank you to the people that support Dinerpod, who enjoy what we do. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a fun summer. I can't wait to share more. I've been going to India a little more lately, trying to see what my brother's doing, see if I'm interested in that life that he's in. But I get to eat some good food, so you'll see that too. But with that, I thank everybody. This is quick. I'm a quickie. Just ask my wife. She'll be more than happy to tell you that I'm a quickie. So I thank y'all. Take care. We'll see you. Keep pushing the